Jonah Coleman is a Washington Husky, and fans, of course, are going to be really excited about this news. The first ever commit, well, some people stayed, but first person to commit from an outside school or be a recruit and commit in the Jedd Fisch era at the University of Washington. And this is big news because I think we all had our eyes on almost like a three-headed monster with their quarterback, with their wide receiver in McMillan, Tafuta, I can't pronounce his name, McMillan, and Jonah Coleman. We didn't get all three, but we got one, and that's Jonah Coleman, who's only a sophomore, which is actually great news because that means he's going to be at the University of Washington for not only one season, most likely, barring any crazy circumstances, which these days in college football, I feel like crazy circumstances occur more often than not, but hopefully that's not the case because I think we're getting an absolute stud in Jonah Coleman. I tweeted out almost a little bit hyperbolic, but in a way that I actually believe that he can become one of the best Washington Husky running backs of all time. And I know that's hyperbolic, but you can dream, right? He's going to be really good. It's going to be really fun to watch. He decided to come and join Jedd Fisch. And I guess this is kind of the beginning of the Jedd Fisch era. Like, this is the moment, right? Like, this is the beginning moment of the Jedd Fisch era and the end of the Kalen DeBoer era. And here we are with Jonah Coleman coming to Montlake and joining the Washington Huskies. So let's talk about a couple of things with them. I like to give 3 facts, 3 opinions, and let's start off with some of our facts about Jonah Coleman. And if you see me looking here, I got an iPad just for stats so you can see that. Jonah Coleman is one of the top running backs in the country, and that maybe it's an opinion, but it's also a fact, and posted 1,154 yards in 2023, 6.8 yards per carry, and 6 touchdowns. Those are some really solid stats that would make any team happy to have, and that means we're going to be able to rely on him. Over 1,000 yards is always great. Almost 7 yards per carry, pretty insane, and 6 touchdowns. You'd like to see that touchdown number come up a little bit more this season, get into double digits, but I don't think it's much of a concern. And his 91.3 PFF grade last year was 5th among all running backs in FBS, which is another great thing. That means the guy has some fantastic skills. The guy is really, really good. It's going to be fun to watch him. I do remember him a bit from the Arizona game. He was a menace. We probably all know we did not all watch here the University of Washington faithful, a bunch of Arizona games last year. I probably watched that game. I watched the game against, it was Oklahoma in the whatever bowl game they played in, and that's about it. Last but not least, the third stat is he led FBS in yards after contact per carry, minimum 90 carries, which means he's going to probably be an instant impact player and probably, and I'm hoping, behind a better offensive line than he did at Arizona. So hopefully he really continues all that. If he can do that again, if he only gets to the numbers that he got to in his sophomore season, it's going to be a really successful season. Let's talk about some opinions. It shows that Jedd Fisch is liked. The first thing, I was hoping we'd get all 3, McMillan, Tafuta, and Jonah Coleman. Instead, we got 1 out of the 3, which is fine. It shows that he is liked. Many players also decided to stay at the University of Washington rather than transfer out. Another reason it shows that Jedd Fisch is liked. And that's going to be huge for recruiting because I think this year, I'm sure all of us would be happy if the Huskies had a good season, did some good things, but I think a lot of us are more focused on next year and the year after with getting some Jedd Fisch recruits and not having what happened right at the end of the season with Kalen DeBoer leaving after the national championship game, which, by the way, feels like eons ago. Doesn't it feel like so long ago the Huskies were in the national championship? Well, here we are. We have a new coach. We have new quarterbacks. We knew we were going to have a new quarterback. We had a bunch of people transfer out. We had a bunch of people stay. Completely different situation. It feels like it was so long ago. And my second opinion on this was he's only a sophomore last year, so that gives us most likely at least 2 years with him with a top 10 running back in college football. According to most rankings, he's anywhere between the 5th best and 10th best running back in college football heading into this season. A big junior year, you don't know what that means. That could make him possibly going into this senior year a top 5 running back in the FBS. So in general, having him for 2 years is it's not like we're just getting a guy here has 1 year left of eligibility, coming in to play 1 season and be a mercenary and come out. And last but not least, if Cam Davis is healthy, having Jonah Coleman, Cam Davis in the backfield, that is a great 1-2 punch, and a 1-2 punch that I bet most college football teams outside of a few teams in the SEC, maybe in Michigan, do not possibly have. So in general, these are all great signs that Jonah Coleman is coming to the Washington Huskies. He's coming to Montlake. He's joining our backfield. He's following Jedd Fisch. Makes us excited as Husky fans. Can't wait to watch him play. And overall, I think this is just great news for the Washington Huskies. And if you enjoyed this video, this is George Arjour, part of Seattle on Tap. This is our Huskies on Tap channel, but it's all part of the Seattle on Tap and overall the Sports on Tap brand. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment, press the like button, subscribe if you can. We're going to be posting our Washington Husky videos for the most part here. But make sure you follow us everywhere at Seattle on Tap, and we'll always have updates on exactly what we're doing with our social media, what we're doing with our YouTube channels, and you can follow us all there. Me and my brother Sammy, really appreciate it, and we're going to see you guys next time.